After 5 years of burning, zapping and collagen cooking with 10 different home use radiofrequency skin tightening devices, I'm literally about to spill everything. No sponsorships, no gimmicks, just me, my thoughts, and how well I feel each of these devices has helped rewind the visual signs of aging on my skin over the last 5 years. And spoiler alert, some of these gadgets, not great, and some of them, what an investment. Yep, today's video is the deep dive that you guys have been begging for. So let's do this. Okay, so before we get on with roasting these devices, let's geek out on how radiofrequency actually works. See, radiofrequency is not magic, it's science. But if you're not as much of a nerd as I am, I'm gonna make this a little more relatable for you. Let's talk lasagna. I want you to imagine your skin as this gloriously delicious pasta dish from Italy. Now, when you're making a lasagna, the first layer that you put in is the base layer. And the base layer is your subcutaneous and smash layer. This is that deep structural base that is the foundations for everything else that is above it. If your smash layer gets too lax, then the layers on top are gonna start to drag it down, push it in, and your lasagna is gonna collapse. The next layer of the pasta dish is the dermis, and this is the oh so cheesy zone where all of that collagen magic is happening in your skin. And then last but not least, we have got the upper layer of your lasagna, your epidermis, which is the crispy top layer. Hello, texture. So yeah, an easy way to remember the 3 main layers of your skin is to lasagna it. Top layer, epidermis, middle cheesy layer, dermis, and the meaty deep structural base layer, the subcutaneous fat and smash layer. Okay, radiofrequency devices like this one here work by sending a frequency into the skin. Now the frequency is oscillating, the cells begin to move, they begin to bash against each other, they're generating a lot of heat as this activity ramps up. Why am I fisting the air? And this heat basically lends itself to shocking your collagen to remodeling itself. But here's the kicker. A 1 megahertz radiofrequency device can potentially penetrate between 4 and 25 millimeters deep into the skin, while something using a higher frequency like 40 megahertz, very similar to what this device uses, is going to be focusing more on the surface, so between 0.5 millimeters to around about 1.5 millimeters. So basically, the lower the frequency, the deeper the penetration. But obviously, frequency is only part of the story of radiofrequency. There's also the electrode types. You've got monopolar devices which are designed to target those really deep areas. Think of those really prominent and hanging jowls, areas on the body such as loose arm skin, on the tummy, on your buttocks or the thighs, areas where the skin isn't so thin and it could really do with some structural maintenance. Then we've got bipolar radiofrequency. Now bipolar radiofrequency is more about that superficial surface area. Think along the lines of fine lines and wrinkles, mild skin laxity, skin crepiness, and complexion issues. And then of course, there's multipolar devices. And multipolar devices are kind of the Swiss Army knife of radiofrequency because they allow you to really customize the depth of a treatment. So they're not going to reach quite as deep as a monopolar device, but they can go deeper than a bipolar device. And then of course, the last part of the radiofrequency story, heat generation. See, collagen begins to remodel itself between 40 degrees and 45 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 104 degrees Fahrenheit to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature that the device is generating within the skin is too cool, then you're not going to see any real results. If it's too hot, ouch, it burns. Okay, so now you know exactly how radiofrequency works and what to look for in a home use machine. Let's meet the devices. Okay, so this top 10 list is a rundown of the devices that I have used over the last 5 years. And we're going to run this in reverse order. So my least favorite device in 10th place, all the way down to my most favorite device in first. So let's kick things off with the Mini Hifu 3rd generation. Now, when I got this device, it promised maximum versatility with a combination of radiofrequency, of EMS, of Hifu, and of pulse massage technology. Now, I love a device that offers multiple treatment modes. And for a lot of people on a budget, that's exactly what they're looking for because they don't want to invest in 4 or 5 different devices when they can get all of the treatments they're looking for in one. And while I appreciate the effort to pack so many different features into one device, it feels a little bit clunky and overcomplicated, and it just doesn't excel in any one area. The actual design of the head of this also makes it quite difficult to use across certain parts of the face, but it's possibly a decent body device, partly down to the size of the coverage area, but also just down to the way that it's easy to hold in the hand and kind of reach in all of those areas. But if I'm honest, I just feel that the designers of this device just missed the mark. And the results that I saw from the radiofrequency use on this device just really don't compare to some of the other some mini Hifu devices out there which I actually saw real results with. Okay, so let's break it down. So with the mini Hifu 3, the radio frequency works at 3mm within the skin, which is basically targeting the mid-dermis. Now, while the Hifu focuses on the smash layer at a frequency of 2.4 MHz, it generates microheat through radio frequency and pulse modes, but really lacks sustained heating for collagen remodeling. EMS operates at 100 Hz, while the pulse massage runs at 200 kHz. Also, the larger dimensions of this device makes it a little less portable than a lot of the other devices on this list. Now, for the frequency of this mini Hifu device, it's pretty much the same as with all of the other Hifu devices. It's recommended to use this twice weekly for the first 8 weeks, reducing down to once weekly after these 8 weeks for your ongoing maintenance. Now, personally, I feel like this device is going to be best for those kind of people who are looking for a multifunctional device that comes with the added benefit of EMS, of Hifu, of pulse massage. A device that is affordable, and who are okay with not amazing, but not terrible results over the long term. So my verdict for this one is that it's basically a jack of all trades, but it just feels like it's trying to do too much at once. The EMS massage on this device, it's relaxing, but if you're looking for real lifting power and skin tightening from a home radio frequency device, honestly, this one is not your best bet. Okay, at number 9 on this list, unfortunately, it's another mini Hifu device, and it's the mini Hifu first generation device. Now, this device combines radio frequency and it combines Hifu, which, if you didn't already know, is high intensity focused ultrasound. Hifu is supposed to target the smash layer. Now, the power output on this one definitely packs a bit of a punch, and the water test does show that this is a genuine Hifu frequency. But we're not here about the Hifu today, we're here for the radio frequency. This device is actually a really decent device for starters to the home skincare game, but it does lack that power and precision that a lot of my other radio frequency devices have now. So if the device isn't actually that bad when it comes to its radio frequency and Hifu output and the skin tightening that it can achieve, why is it so low on my list? Well, unfortunately, this device is only available to very limited countries around the world. From my understanding, the manufacturer of mini Hifu tried to get FDA clearance for the device. It didn't pass, which means that it's not allowed to be sold in countries like in America. Is it dangerous? My face is still here, and it's still able to be sold across the European Union, in the United Kingdom, and a load of other places, but the lack of accessibility to the device just means that it's not a great recommendation for the majority of the people who watch my channel, you. But regardless, I do actually love this device for the radio frequency and for its Hifu frequency. But let's break it down. The Hifu targets a smash layer at 4.5mm, while the radio frequency works in the mid-dermis at 3mm. It's generating heat through focused ultrasound and radio frequency warming, but the power output, which is 5 joules per centimetre square for the Hifu and 4 joules centimetre square for the radio frequency, can feel a little bit underwhelming during use. Also, the fact that you can't disable the Hifu and have radio frequency as a standalone treatment or vice versa kind of makes this device a little bit sucky. So the radio frequency runs at 2 MHz for the mini Hifu first gen, and the inbuilt red and blue phototherapy runs at 650 nanometers. I still kind of feel like they're just Christmas tree lights in there, but hey, who knows? This is also super compact, which makes it easy to travel with. Okay, so my verdict on the mini Hifu first generation is that it's actually a really decent little device. It's just not accessible. It's a good introduction to radio frequency and Hifu technology. It's super affordable, but obviously this device is not a power device. It's not gonna really take care of moderate signs of aging. It's not gonna take care of significant sag, deep lines and wrinkles, or anything like that. But if you wanna amplify your results, pair it with a really hydrating serum, and you should be reasonably happy. If you can get your hands on this device, amazing start out device on a budget. But if you can't, don't cry, because there's so much better on the market. Okay, in 8th place, the Evenskyn Lumo. Now, this is another multitasking radio frequency device for the home user, and like with the mini Hifu 3, it does come packed with a load of different features. There's the radio frequency, there's the EMS, there's the phototherapy, there's the sonic massage. But as much as I wanted to love this device, its scattered focus means that it doesn't really excel in any one area. However, something I do really love about this device is that you can select the treatments to be a standalone, like the radio frequency on its own, the EMS on its own, or you can also combine them. And it's also not a bad device for those who want more of a spa-like experience in the comfort of their own home. Now, the Evenskyn Lumo targets the layers of the skin between 1.5 and 4mm deep. So this is basically focusing on the upper and mid-dermis layers. and this is going to help give some superficial tightening. Now, this does have a dual temperature heat system, which can actually heat the skin up to 60 degrees Celsius, which is like 140 degrees Fahrenheit, hot. And then what it does after this initial heat generation, it gently lowers that temperature and then it will hold it at between 40 and 42 degrees Celsius, which is between 104 and 107.6 Fahrenheit, which is actually a decent temperature for collagen stimulation without the pain, discomfort, or risk of burns. Now, when we look at the size of this device, it would be unfair to say that it's not compact enough to travel around with you when this device is so much larger. It is really comfortable to hold in the hand. It can be angled for reaching under the jawline really comfortably. I really do love the other features in this device, like the sonic cleaning, the EMS. But as this is a video comparing my personal results, thoughts and opinions of the radio frequency devices that I've used over time, and radio frequency is the key word here, I just don't like the price inflation when you've got the generic unbranded version available at a fraction of the price. Now, with that said, with the Lumo, if the Lumo was the same price as this generic version, then this device would be way up higher on the list. But it's not. So the Evenskyn Lumo is at number 8, whereas the generic Lumo device would likely score around about number 4. Alrighty, number 7 on the list, the CurrentBody Skin Radio Frequency device. Meet the travel-sized collagen chef. This 1 megahertz radio frequency skin tightening device is tiny, and it weighs in at just 96 grams. But does it pack a decent enough collagen-inducing punch? Is it my favourite? Well, clearly not. But again, this is a good enough starter device for those new to the world of home skin tightening and people looking to kind of just buff up and polish their skin a little more at home. It's super sleek, super shiny. It's a 4-pronged device, not exactly the most comfortable design to use across the forehead and those bonier parts of the face, but it's decent enough for getting kind of under the eye area, not right on the eyeball, but under the eye area, around those crow's feet, around the lips, the nasolabials. It's kind of like the detailing brush of the radio frequency world. So let's take a closer look at this device and what it does. So the CurrentBody Skin Radio Frequency device targets the upper to mid dermis, which is approximately 2 to 3 millimeters deep. Perfect for skin surface tightening and stimulating collagen in the reticular dermis. Now, it uses Skin Sense tech to lock heat in at 43 degrees Celsius, which is around about 108 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's the catch. It auto shuts off once it reaches that temperature, which means the treatments and the results are much slower. But then on the flip side, you've got way less risk of causing yourself an injury or a burn. Now, it does come with 3 adjustable levels. The device is super sleek looking, but don't go expecting drama. This one to me is like the slow cooker of radio frequency skin tightening devices. Now, when I was using this device, I was using it 2 to 3 times a week. Once I started getting the results that I felt comfortable with, I did move on to more monthly maintenance, which actually I didn't do because honestly, I just feel like it didn't give me the kind of results, those slap you in the face of a wet fish kind of results that I'm looking for, which a lot of my other devices do. So I used it for its 8 weeks. I gave it a couple more weeks after that and I was like, eh. But then also when I used this device, my skin was probably at its best it's been in like 15 years. So yeah, maybe that's not a fair comparison and way for me to look at it because there wasn't much for it to work with at that point. I'm 43 years old. My skin is not bad now. But my verdict is that, again, this is a great starter device for people new to the world of collagen remodeling at home, skin tightening at home, and anti-aging radio frequency treatments. I would say pair this with a really good serum for maximum conductivity, for really hydrating and nourishing your epidermis from the get-go. And if you're like me and you want to see more of a result from a device, you might need to use it a little bit longer than specified. Okay, number 6, the OG fractional radio frequency device that basically kick-started the home radio frequency skin tightening device market many, many years ago. This device is a little bit different to all of the other devices that I've featured so far on this list because this is a fractional radio frequency tip. It's affordable, it's beginner friendly, and it's actually really good for sensitive skin types like me. And while I'm not going to lie, it doesn't pack the power of some of the higher placed and higher ranked devices on this list. It offers you a mild and non-invasive introduction to radio frequency skin tightening technology. If you're looking for subtle texture improvements, for taking care of those fine lines and wrinkles and getting a little bit of a lift, then this one's actually worth considering. Okay, so this fractional radio frequency device targets the surface and subsurface layers of the skin with 1 MHz multipolar radio frequency, and it's focusing on mild dermal stimulation. It generates a mild warming, which is great for those who are wary of overheating or irritation, but it limits its ability to deeply remodel collagen. It operates at 5 watts, making it one of the least powerful devices on this list, but it's ideal for safety and ease of use. It's also really lightweight at just 130 grams, making it portable and easy to handle during a treatment session. Now with this device, I used it 2 to 3 times a week, and I stuck with 2 to 3 times a week over a period of around about 12 weeks. And yeah, it delivered some results. Were they drastic? No. Did I expect them to be drastic? No. Did it help tighten up my upper eyelid skin? Yes. I actually really do love the design of this one though. The angle of the head, the way that you can hold it, makes it so easy to elevate the brow, keep this on the bone, and really just target those upper eyelid areas to get that contraction going and really open and make your eyes pop. The upper eyelids are one of the most difficult areas to treat on the face. The skin there is super thin. When it starts losing its elasticity and its structure, it can begin to drop and sag and stretch. And then getting that to tighten up afterwards is no easy feat. But this actually, for me, worked amazingly. Another thing that I really love about this device is that the tips on this radio frequency device are interchangeable. Plus you've got 156 contact points on this, which means that the heat is going to be spread really evenly across 156 different sections rather than just over one solid zone. This means that the heat actually is a lot more comfortable for the majority of home users. The actual fractional tip of these devices, interchangeable, which means that this is a super long lasting device. Once the tips of this start to function below what you're expecting, you can switch them out. Super cheap, super easy to find these tips as well online. The device itself, so affordable. And as someone with redness prone skin, obviously I do suffer with rosacea, although I've got this under control. I own it now. But this one is really good for those with sensitive and redness prone skin. Now, while it's not going to deliver dramatic lifting or toning on the mid-face and even along the jawline to a degree, what it can do and really help with, as it did with me, is really help with the upper eye area. Now, I combine this with the Newa Pro device and the Newa Precision device for taking care of my eye area. I mean, I'm not mad. But yeah, this is a safe and effective way to take care of your skin tone, your skin texture, boost those collagen levels slightly, give your skin an increase in elastin. Yeah, I actually really like this one. Okay, number 5, the Medicube UltraTune 40.68. This bad boy right here. Now, the Medicube UltraTune advertises itself as a high frequency device. Now, while that's true, it is running on a high frequency. The frequency range that it's in is still radio frequency. So this is actually an ultra high radio frequency device, or a UHRF. And this one, when I first used it, I wasn't a fan. I didn't like it. I felt it was too large. The contact points on the device just weren't comfortable. And if I'm honest, I didn't see the results that I was expecting, but that's due to my own lack of understanding. See, because this device here actually works more like a cooling massage gun than a traditional heat generating ouchy burny radio frequency device that I'm used to. But I shouldn't have let this gentle feel fool me. See, the 40.68 megahertz radio frequency works through thermal diffusion, and it uses this thermal diffusion to subtly and gently stimulate that collagen really gently over time. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really didn't like this one when I first got it, but it's actually grown on me over time. Do I love it? Not 100%, but I do feel that it really serves a role in preventative aging rather than anti-aging. So for someone like me who's already wound back the age of their skin a good 10 to 15 years, a device like this is actually perfect for maintaining those results. If you're also under 30 and your skin has already got a lot of elasticity, it's got a lot of collagen already, this can help to maintain that. Okay, so what exactly is the penetration of the Medicube UltraTune 40.68? Well, the high frequency energy output of this device primarily targets the dermis. Now, one of my bugbears with Medicube is a lack of transparency when it comes to frequencies, power outputs, the way that a device is operating. Now, that doesn't detract from the fact that a lot of their devices are amazing, and there's a reason why so many of them are included in my home skincare routine. But the lack of transparency around those really important details that make it possible for you to know whether something is suitable for being combined with another treatment or modality, how long you need to leave between treatments, whether it's even really suitable for you and the topical products you're using. In the world of home skincare, knowing these basic specs is super important, and I'm not going to apologize for calling Medicube Medicube out on that. Luckily, science to the rescue. The 40.68 megahertz frequency typically sees the energy being delivered approximately 0.5 to 1.5 millimeters deep in the skin. Thank you, science. And the way that it disperses its heat is through thermal spread, which means that it's indirectly going to take care of those deeper layers as well, without any direct heat application. The heat is basically just going to penetrate through slowly and warm things up. Now, this device also generates non-thermal microcurrent with a heat persistence of between 40 degrees and 45 degrees Celsius, which is 104 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is actually really ideal for collagen stimulation without any discomfort. Another feature that I actually really appreciate with the Medicube UltraTune 40.68 is that it doesn't need any special conductive gels. You simply apply your skincare as normal and you get to work with the device. However, if you're like me and you're more used to the intense heat generated by traditional radio frequency devices, then the cooling feeling that you get from the Medicube UltraTune might feel a little bit underwhelming. Basically, it's not the best device, but it's definitely not the worst. So my verdict is that this is perfect for daily use and preventative aging. Now, while it's not going to give you dramatic lifting results, it is going to buff up and polish your complexion. And actually, I've been using this one a little bit more regularly now, and I definitely do notice that my skin feels firmer, it looks more volumized, and actually it looks more hydrated too, which bonus. Okay, number 4, and it's time to bring you another mini Hifu device, which is my favorite mini Hifu device, the mini Hifu 2nd generation, also known as the mini Hifu 2. Like the other mini Hifu devices, this device is a bit of a Swiss Army knife, and it's like having 3 devices in one, with its adjustable Hifu depth, with its radio frequency, and with its medium frequency EMS microcurrent crossover frequency, as well as a little bit of LED phototherapy thrown in the mix. This little gadget offers absolute versatility at a super affordable price point. It's beginner friendly, but it's still powerful enough to provide real noticeable results. Like with the mini Hifu 1st gen, we have a little bit of a problem with accessibility with this one. Again, when you look on sites like Amazon.com, on eBay.com, or even try to find a retailer in the US, you're going to really struggle to get your hands on this one. Which actually is a real shame, because out of all of the radio frequency devices that I've used since starting this channel 5 years ago, this one came into my life at around about a year and a half into starting taking care of my skin properly. And it honestly made such a difference to my skin texture, to its volume, to its firmness, to the lift. Partly down to the radio frequency, mainly down to the Hifu actually, I think. It is genuine high intensity focused ultrasound. The water test has demonstrated that. Out of all of the mini Hifu devices, this one, from the build quality to its design to the placement of the electrode tips, the coverage area, everything about this one, and it still actually does. Now, when I first started using this device, I was using it 2 or 3 times a week for around about 8 or 10 weeks. After this point, I dropped it down to once every 2 weeks, and I'd done this for a further 8 to 10 weeks. Then I moved on to monthly maintenance. Now, I did combine this with other radio frequency devices, so I can't say that this one, as a standalone device, worked absolute miracles on my skin, but combining it with this, which I was doing for around about a year and a half, the results literally blew my mind. These two are amazing together. And yeah, this device really is best for those who are looking for a multifunctional approach to the visible signs of aging, but without breaking the bank. Now, the Hifu in this device reaches between 3 and 4.5 millimeters, while the radio frequency in this device works at 3 millimeters. This also comes with inbuilt safety sensors, which means that once it detects that your skin has reached a certain temperature, it will automatically adjust the energy output to ensure that you're not overheating or overstimulating the skin. So with this device, the EMS is at 15 watts. It comes with a 500 microamp hour battery. It's got LED phototherapy, which includes blue and red light modes for added benefits like acne reduction or collagen boosting. This is also a 2 megahertz device for the radio frequency. It's compact and easy to use. It comes with adjustable settings that make it versatile for different areas of the face and the neck. And basically, it's just a fantastic all-rounder. So my verdict with this device is that over the time that I was really focusing my attention on this device as part of my home skin tightening routine, it really did help me achieve really visible lifting, toning, tightening, and revolumizing of my skin. Now, this wasn't an overnight miracle. I actually used this device well over a year before I started to upgrade my technology and take my skincare game next level. One of the best choices I ever made for my skin. Okay, number 3 is the device that I literally kickstarted my channel with. Everything is built on this device, which is the generic radio frequency device that I have. Now, this radio frequency machine is not for the faint of heart. It comes with super powerful bipolar radio frequency technology, and it literally delivers salon-like results in the comfort of your own home. But only if you know what you're doing with it. Now, this one right here really is one of the most effective devices I've ever used on my skin, especially considering that this is really what I was using at the very start of everything I was doing with my skincare, when my skin was in its worst condition possible. It was lacking collagen, it was lacking elastin, it was sagging, it was hanging, it was sallow, hollow, it just not great. This device is the workhorse behind this. And I literally don't think that I could have got the results that I got without this one. It is incredibly effective, but you have to be careful that you don't overdo it with this one. Not forgetting that this device is spicy, and its love of sparking and zapping on my skin, yeah, not fun. But yeah, like I said, when it comes to the most dramatic collagen remodeling that my skin has had, because it was at its worst point when I started using this device, this was a key player. But it also penetrates not only in the dermis, but into the deep dermis and the hypodermis. And let me tell you that this can come with some potential risks. There's the dreaded unwanted facial fat loss that can leave your cheeks looking hollow, empty and sagging. There can be a lot of sensitivity for 2 to 3 days after a treatment. There can also be a lack of sensitivity if you run it over the facial nerves and you heat them up too much. Then there's also the risk of those unwanted burns. Now, this device has actually burnt me in the past. I had a few small blisters on my face. It wasn't being my friend that day. But really now I don't need to use it like I used to, so it stays away in a cupboard and it comes out twice a year. So yeah, this device reaches depths on average between 3 and 7 millimeters deep. Now, the reason it reaches depths like this is because this isn't only a face device, it's also designed for the body, and you can push and hold the button to switch from face to body frequency. It's got adjustable energy levels ranging between 15 and 25 joules per centimeter square, and the heat generation with this device can actually exceed 65 degrees Celsius, which is 149 degrees Fahrenheit. For me personally, I really do love this one. When I started out with it, I used it once a week, and I'd done this for around about 3 months because my skin was in the worst condition. Once I started noticing those results coming in, I switched this up to once every 2 weeks. Then I went on to monthly, and now I take it out twice a year just for maintenance. So my verdict is that this is a microwave for wrinkles, but also while I started with it as a beginner device, it's not exactly what I would call a beginner-friendly device. This is definitely something that I think people who have an understanding of radio frequency, of how to target certain areas of the face, for that contour, for that sculpt, for that lift. Yeah, it's kind of more of an intermediate device, and I'm going to be forever grateful to this one. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of this list now. In at number 2 is the Nebulyft N1 device. Now, if you're a tech lover like me, then the Nebulyft N1 is a dream come true for radio frequency skin tightening treatments. It comes with 120 megahertz RF MEMS technology, Bluetooth connectivity, and app-guided sessions. To me, my opinion is that this device feels like skincare from the future. It is perfect for those who want precision and data-driven results. But as with most of these devices on this list, it does require a bit of patience. Each session takes a bit of time. The payoff, so worth it. Now, the Nebulyft N1 is penetrating approximately 2 to 3 millimeters into the dermis. It comes with 384 titanium micro radio frequency dots, making it ideal for superficial tightening and pore refinement. It also has internal temperature monitoring technology, which ensures that you're going to get consistent heat delivery at 42 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This device here actually performs a part of my current skincare routine. When I first started with the Nebulyft N1 radio frequency device, I was using it 3 times a week, thrice a week. And again, I'd done this for approximately 8 to 10 weeks. And in that time, I actually really did start to notice changes in my skin texture. So my skin was already pretty polished at the point of introducing this radio frequency skin tightening device into my routine. But it kind of perfected those areas that I really wanted to pay more attention to. Now, if you're like me and you are a technology and science enthusiast and you love tracking your progress and understanding exactly what's going on with each treatment, then the Nebulyft app makes this completely possible. And if you're looking for a device that combines maximum results, maximum precision, and maximum safety, you literally cannot go wrong with this one. Now, this one is actually quite a bit pricier than nearly all of the other devices on this list. But the reason why its price isn't having an impact on where this places in the rankings is because actually every dollar, every penny, every cent of what you spend on this one is actually going on the device technology, on science-backed technology that actually works, and not on the brand's marketing budget. The Bluetooth connectivity of this device allows you to monitor your sessions and treatments in real time, and unlike just about every other radio frequency device that I've ever used, the actual panel on the Nebulyft N1 is made from ceramic and not metal. And by using ceramic instead of metal, what they've done is they've created a device that actually glides so smoothly without any drag whatsoever. The actual egg shape of the ceramic contact panel is also a really thoughtful design feature that I really appreciate with this, because it makes it possible to really cover those hard to reach areas, like up towards the corner of the eyes, under the eye area, over the upper cheeks, along the nose, under the nose, and especially over the forehead. And while the plate of this device is ceramic, the actual micro dots themselves are titanium, which provides superior heat delivery just in those perfect layers of the skin. Now, like I said, this one does take longer when it comes to a treatment session, but also it's a time investment that I am more than prepared to make, because the results, the safety features, the whole design, the feel of it, the way that this one works in my skin, the way I can monitor everything that it's doing, means that I actually enjoy every second of a session, and it's not just another chore that I'm rushing to get out of the way. So my verdict, well, if you're like me and you're happy to commit yourself to slightly longer sessions than average, this device literally delivers the most incredible results. After 4 weeks, my pores were almost invisible. My skin texture looked so much smoother. It didn't feel as rough. The way that lights cast shadow across my skin also seemed to change, which to me is a clear indicator that the skin was actually tightening up and plumping without me actually physically realizing until I saw my face in photos, and I was like, whoa, when did that happen? This device, if I could put it at number one, I would put it at number one. The only reason that it's not at number one is because, one, it is slightly pricey for a lot of people. I get that. You do get what you pay for a lot of the time with skin tightening technology. If it was a little bit cheaper, it would have easily taken a top slot, but it's not. But do you know what is? This. Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. In at number one on my top 10 radio frequency home use skin tightening devices is the Newa Plus radio frequency device. Now, this is the cordless version of the Newa devices, and really, for me, these two devices are pretty neck and neck. Technology wise, the Nebulyft N1 pips the Newa to the post, but this FDA cleared radio frequency gadget is everything that I need in a home skincare device. Clinical grade technology, ease of use, and results that speak for themselves. It's compact, it's cordless, and it's foolproof, making it absolutely perfect for anyone looking to tighten and tone their skin at home without stepping foot into an expensive clinic. Now, the frequency of the Newa Plus device works within the dermis and the deep dermis, and it uses patented 3D technology, which basically ensures uniform energy distribution for maximum collagen stimulation. It heats the skin up to 42 degrees Celsius or 107.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and once your skin has reached that optimal temperature, the little light here turns green. Literally zero guessing required to know that your body is being told to start to stimulate more collagen. The Newa Plus radio frequency device uses 4-minute cycles per zone that you're treating. So cheeks, 4 minutes, or 2 minutes, 2 minutes, along the jawline, 4 minutes, forehead, 4 minutes. How long it's going to take you to do a session depends on exactly how much you're treating. For me, on average, this takes around about 12 minutes from start to finish. And I do alternate between these two devices, so I don't use them both at the same time. On the same days, I alternate. So one day I'm going to be using this one session I'm going to be using the Nebulyft. Now, the newer devices are designed to be used more frequently, so the energy is never going to go above what is seen as optimal for your collagen stimulation and collagen production. So the risk of damage, of fat loss, anything like that is really minimal. In fact, it's pretty much zero. It comes with 6 electrode tips. These are ever so slightly raised, but they're not like the raised tips of the other devices like you see with CurrentBody or with Medicube. These are actually raised, but also flat, if that makes sense, like this. And it makes it super comfortable to use and get over those angles without any kind of pain or irritation. I personally find that the newer device is amazing for my jawline, for across my upper cheeks, and for those nasolabial folds. Now, unlike the newer radio frequency plug-in version, this has a battery inside of it. It is the cordless version. It's similar in size to an electric razor, so a lot of people are going to be familiar with how to hold this one really comfortably for prolonged periods of time if they need to. The build quality, I love. The colors, I love. I guess I'm just in love. Price-wise, when you compare it to the Nebulyft devices, the newer device is a fair bit more affordable. They've also normally got promotions running, there's discount codes. I've got them, of course. And yeah, introducing this as part of your home use anti-aging and skin tightening skincare routine is literally going to be the best choice for like 90% of people out there. My verdict, well, this device actually really did help when it comes to collagen production in my skin, real measurable results, and it's kind of helped my complexion a little bit like Photoshop IRL. It's been optimized to be safe for home use, and really the results just speak for themselves. And if you're serious about skin tightening, this one, in my opinion, is worth every penny. And there you have it, my countdown of the 10 radio frequency devices that I've used from worst to best. And this is after 5 years of actual testing and using these devices myself. But I'm curious, which one of these devices are you eyeing up right now? Feel free to drop a comment below because I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to smash that like button if this video is going to help you save literal dollars on your next purchase, or it's educated you on what could possibly be the best choice for you and your skin needs. Oh yeah, and don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can become a total skincare science nerd like me from wherever in the world you are. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. We are just about done now, so I hope that your week ahead is the best ever, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. So until then, TJ over and out.